What's going on, you guys? This is Dominic from Porn Addicts Help, where I give tips and strategies on what you need to do to finally overcome from pornography addiction. And as you've seen in other videos, please like and subscribe. And as you know, I dealt with pornography addiction for over 17 years. And the shameful part was I am a licensed minister and dealt with it and felt dirty, felt awkward, all those things that you guys are probably feeling right now. But don't fret, I'm here to help you. Now, I've seen several videos on YouTube touting various different methods on how to overcome pornography addiction, right? And as a consultant in the area, I can tell you that the people that I found that have success follow the tips and the strategies that I outline in my modules, right? But we're not going to talk about the modules. What I'm going to talk about right is in particular a video that I saw that was dealing with recovery, porn addiction recovery. It was a great video, right? It dealt with the 4 stages of recovery, and that brother was indeed on point in that video. However, I want to throw audible for a second because where I come in at is a lot of people look at things from a psychological perspective, which is good. Psychology can be good. I mean, I got my master's in sociology, took a lot of psychology classes at one point, was going to go and get my PhD in clinical psychology. So I'm not boo-booing on psychology. But what I do want to say is that a lot of things in this life, the Bible says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers. So many of the things that you're struggling with has a deeper meaning, a more esoteric meaning than just psychology in and of itself. So those stages that he talked about was just purely psychological. And so where I'm coming in at is I want to delve a little bit deeper into why you, my friends, are dealing with this porn addiction and how even knowing the question that was asked in that video was, well, how do I know how long my recovery would take? You know, is it 6 months to a year or 2 months? Like, how would I know how long I'll be struggling with that? Now, here's my answer compared to that brother. Here's my answer. That's the wrong question to ask. That's the wrong question to ask. That's my answer. Because it doesn't matter if it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Number one, it's going to vary on the person. It's going to vary on the individual. But number two, that's just the wrong question to ask. And the reason I say that's the wrong question to ask, the emphasis shouldn't be on the quantifiable, right? The emphasis shouldn't be on, well, oh my God, okay, I didn't do this for 2 weeks, so that must be a sign that I'm over it. No, because sometimes certain things can just lie dormant. Doesn't mean that you're recovered from it, but some things can just be so deep in your spirit, so deep in your inner being that it can just come out at any time, at any moment. So the question should not be, Dominic, how long will it take me to recover? No, the question should be, what can I do to eliminate the trauma in my life that has allowed this pornography addiction to manifest itself in the first place? Let me say that again. The question should be the more appropriate question that will lead you to that is, what can I do? What type of trauma do I have in my life that has ultimately created a breeding ground, if you will, for this trauma called porn, for this porn addiction, this behavior to manifest itself, to ultimately fester, to grow, to all of a sudden go from being an ember to being a full-fledged wildfire. What happened in my life to get me to a point to where I went from point A to point B, and then all of a sudden I'm all the way to Z? That's the question that you need to ask. And that question will literally show you what's in your heart. Let me give you guys an example. And I know and I'm aware that a lot of you guys aren't Christian that are listening to me, but I think this example will really bring home what I'm trying to say and how this is relevant to your porn addiction. I had a fraternity brother back in college. He always talked about, oh, I'm not gonna have sex. I'm just this upstanding person, and I'm just gonna wait till I'm married, right? And everybody teased him about it, like, yeah, right, whatever. Okay, okay, you do that, right? That's what they did, right? And he talked about celibacy all the time. I mean, even at times that he was like, dude, like, this is, we don't care, right? And I'll never forget when we finally came out on the yard, as we called it, meaning that our fraternity was finally introduced to the public. The very first time, the very first thing that he said was, oh my God, I got this girl number. And he went on to talk about how he had fellatio with the girl and how he was excited. And I guess he thought everybody else was going to be like, oh man, congratulations, just guy talk or whatever. And nobody did that. Why? Because the whole time that we were going through that process, he was blasting us. He was ministering to us about the merits about how we should not have sex before marriage. But now that he finally got the opportunity to do it, he did it. So what's my point? My point is this. Just like my frat brother back then, many of you have not dealt with what's really in your heart. And that thing is festering so much that it lies dormant. And because it lies dormant, the only thing you need is a catalyst for that behavior that's really still in you to come out of you. So in his instance, it's good for me to tell people that I'm not having sex till marriage and I can tell everybody I'm doing this, but the reality is he wasn't popular. He had low self-esteem. So the catalyst was getting into this college fraternity. And through that college fraternity, he would automatically become popular and more popular with the women. And because he would become popular with the women, that gave him access to sex. And because he would finally have access to sex, it would bring out the true him. See, the true him was a person that wanted to have sex a lot with a lot of different women. But the representative was the person who said, you don't need to have sex before you marry. That was a representative. So I give this example and I say it like this. I'm more impressed, for example, by a Morris Chestnut, for example, or a Brad Pitt, for example, saying, you know what, I'm celibate. Because you know that they're getting opportunities to do wrong. And if they choose to say no, that means that they probably really mean it in heart, as opposed to somebody who's saying it and they don't really have the time, the money, or the opportunity to do it. So what's my point, and how does that relate to porn addiction? Well, simply this. Many of you guys are going about your recovery in the wrong way. You're quantifying stuff. Stop it, man. Stop it. You're thinking in yourself, well, I haven't dealt with porn in so many days. Okay, it's been 30 days. It's been 6 months. It's been a year. Oh, I haven't dealt with it. But festering on the inside of you is lust. It's still there. Matter of fact, just last night, you just had to force yourself not to do it. Why? Because although you haven't engaged in the behavior, the catalyst for what created the behavior in the first place is still in your heart. It's lying dormant. And if that thing comes out, it could potentially cause you to lose your marriage. It could cause you to lose your job. It could cause you to lose your relationships. It can cause you to lose a lot. So, how do you know that you're really recovered? It's an esoteric thing. It's a matter of your heart. What do you do to recover? And I go back into that while I'm thinking about it. I want to talk about this first. One of the biggest things that you could do is go on a fast. Just fast. Why fast? Well, the Bible says that these kind can only come out through prayer and fasting. When you fast, you're disempowering your flesh. In other words, you're weakening that strong man that has allowed you to be addicted to porn in the first place. In this instance, demons, spirits. I know it for a fact. Now, some of you probably cut it off at that point and say, oh, that's whatever. You can laugh and be prideful, but that's why you're struggling. And I'm free from porn addiction. See, that's the thing about pride, man. Pride. People come on these videos and laugh and you're saying that I don't believe it, blah blah blah. But I'm the one that doesn't deal with it anymore after 17 years, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not dealing with this mess anymore. You are, and I'm here to help you. But in order for you to be helped, you have to understand that your enemy is deeper than what you see and what you hear. Your enemy is in the unseen realm, folks. Yes, we can go into psychology. We can talk about dopamine release. We can talk about mental instability in the brain. We can talk about all that different stuff. And those things are very relevant. But I'm telling you this, you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers, rules of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. That, my friend, is why you are dealing with porn addiction. And that, my friend, is why you shouldn't put quantifiable measures on your recovery. Because here's the thing. I, when I say don't put quantifiable measures, I'm not saying that you can't be happy like, oh man, I didn't look at porn today or blah blah blah. I'm saying letting that be your primary focus. Your primary focus should be on continuously keeping the things out of your heart that cause you to have the trauma in the first place, that cause you to engage in the behavior in the first place. Me, for example, was low self-esteem that was caused by rejection. I didn't know my father. I was called ugly. I was socially awkward. I was all these things. And the only time that I felt accepted was when I watched pornography. So I had to build my confidence up. I had to do little things to build my confidence up. I went to the gym, worked out, got my relationship solid with Christ, worship, prayed, fasted, did all those different things. And over time, guess what happened? I no longer had the taste for pornography. It wasn't a thing where it was like, okay, well, I went 6 months without pornography. No, my nature changed. And that's what I'm trying to get you to see. For you guys, I'm trying to get you from being a caterpillar into being a butterfly, so to speak. In other words, I'm trying to get you to metamorphosize your nature. I'm trying to get you to metamorphosize who you are. That's why I said in the very beginning, asking that question about, well, what's the stages of recovery? That's an irrelevant question. It's irrelevant. How is me knowing the stages of recovery going to help me now? How is me knowing, well, am I going to be well in 6 months? Am I going to be well in 10 months? Who cares? At the end of the day, if you do your part and you deal with the trauma, it's really up to you. It's really up to you. If you're serious, like I'm going through this workout right now, right? I'm losing this weight right now, and it's been arduous. And I ate some stuff I wasn't supposed to eat. I ate some brisket. I just moved to Texas from LA, right? Eating brisket, end up having a gout attack. I knew I shouldn't have ate it, but I ate it. So I can sit up and say, well, you know what? I'm serious about working out and I'm serious about it, but my actions dictated something else. My actions say, you know what, Dominique, you're not really serious about it. So if you're really serious about this porn addiction, you have to discipline yourself. One of the biggest ways of disciplining yourself is forcing yourself to go on a fast. Yes, go on a fast, folks. I cannot repeat that much clearer than that. Go on a fast. Go on a fast. Cut the television off. Put good stuff into your spirit. Yes, and for the people who say, well, I'm not a Christian, I don't believe it. Well, you don't have to believe it. I'm telling you what I did for myself and what worked. And the issue is why a lot of porn addiction programs don't work at all, and people keep having these cycles where they keep cycling back, and people are in these relationships for years and their marriages are destroyed because of porn addiction, is because they don't understand it from a spiritual perspective. They do not talk about it from a spiritual perspective. They don't understand that the enemy, meaning Satan, has how he plots and plans and schemes to destroy your life. They're not taught porn addiction from that perspective. That's where I'm different. That's why I'm different. There's other people on YouTube and in various platforms that have great advice, excellent advice, some good advice. Not gonna boo boo on any of them. However, I have yet, and they may be out there, I have yet to see anyone talk about it from a spiritual perspective and truly be free from it. That's why many of you guys are still masturbating. You're fabbing. You're counting down the days until you fab again. And you think every day that I didn't fab is a victory, but you're like a heroin addict with you're withdrawing. It's like so hard for you not to fab. So even though you're not fabbing, you're sitting here torturing yourself while you're not fabbing. Yes, you haven't masturbated in 6 months, and that's great. And I commend you for that. However, that whole 6 months for many of you all was torturous. And that's no way to live your life. Why was it torturous? Because by act of your willpower, yes, you were able to do it, but the thing, if you will, the spirit that was behind the addiction is still influencing you and is still there, and you have to finally disempower that spirit. You have to finally put parameters into place to kick the spirit out and keep it from coming back in so you can have a nice, healthy, long life so you can metamorphosize into that butterfly. Folks, put it to you like this. It's a well-known minister on television who cheated on his wife. And this is public record. This is not gossip. This is public record. And he said that when he was 18, he was teased and he was talked about, all these different things, right? So he said when he got an opportunity, and he could never get girls. So when he got an opportunity to cheat, it was this real bad looking escort, like fine escort that came on to him, and he ended up falling to this escort and having sex to the escort. So just imagine, folks, he had sex with this escort. And I thought it was something particularly funny that he said. He said, the reason that I had sex with this woman was because she spoke to the child in me. She spoke to the 18-year-old boy. This man is like well up in his 30s. And when he cheated on his wife, in his mind, because he never dealt with that trauma, the devil, if you will, came in and presented an opportunity in the form of something he always wanted. And that gave him carte blanche to go and to cheat on his wife. So why do I bring that up? Simply this. Some of you guys have not truly dealt with why you are dealing with the addiction in the first place. Some of you guys are just counting days and counting months and maybe even counting years and say, well, I didn't watch porn today, good. I didn't watch porn today, good. I didn't watch porn today, good. But I can guarantee you, if you don't really deal with what's in your heart, one day, just like that minister, something's going to come that's going to make or break you. And because you have not dealt with it, you'll fall to it again. And oftentimes, as the Bible says, you'll be worse off than before. So that's why I say, folks, that porn addiction recovery is so important. That's why I say, folks, it's not important for you to focus on the days that you've been. Don't worry about that. Focus on getting your heart right. Focus on getting your heart cleaned up. Focus on taking tangible steps to deal with the fact that you were rejected as a child, to deal with the fact that you were molested as a child, to deal with the fact that you were raped, to deal with the fact that you were betrayed, to deal with the fact that you got into pornography because you're married and your husband, you know, he's a pervert and he wants to have sex with you and three other women and he likes to see weird sex on pornos, and so now you trying to please him got involved in that, and now you have a strange addiction. See, folks, this rabbit hole gets deeper, and the fact is, many people have lost a lot. Many people have paid tens and thousands of dollars for exactly what I'm telling you. The people that are honest and really want to help you, right? To tell you the truth. Many people have struggled with this type of stuff for years, man. Many people have lost their marriages, lost their children because their children had to get kicked out of the home. Many people have become so perverted in their thinking that they molested children, had sex with animals, just a whole bunch of bevy of just sick things that I don't even want to think of, right? That's why what I'm telling you guys is, and ladies too as well, is so important. Yes, I love you guys. I don't have to know you, but I'm telling you from the perspective of a person that's dealt with porn addiction for over 17 years. And I say over 17 years is really over because I was sitting up and doing a count. I think it probably is around 20 something, right? But that's over 17 years. You get the point. And I felt so dirty and I felt so defeated and even getting married, right? Been married almost 2 years now. I guess publicly a year because we got married at the courthouse and then last year we had a ceremony, so that's publicly. But been married about 2 years, and even when we were first in a relationship, I had the addiction, and it could have cost me that relationship. It could have cost me ultimately having the opportunity to get even married in the first place because the way that I saw her wasn't right. And I cried out to God one day and I said, God, you got to help me with this, man. What do I need to do to overcome this addiction? And God came through, man. He gave me the tips and the strategy. That's why I'm sharing this with you. That's why I'm so passionate about it. That's why when I see people doing these videos on YouTube, I know they mean well. And many of the stuff that does work, I'm just saying it didn't work for me. And so what I'm sharing with you guys is what exactly worked for me. And that's key one, folks. Stop trying to figure out when you're going to recover. Stop that. And trying to quantify everything. Stop that. Focus your 110% attention on what's in your heart. And once you do that, everything else will happen organically. And the reason it'll happen organically is because you'll automatically be the person that you want to be. You'll automatically be the person you want to be because your desires will change. Your nature will change. Your taste will change. And because your taste and your nature and your desires change, guess what? Automatically, you're not even going to want to engage in porn. You're not even going to want to masturbate anymore. See, this is drastically different. This is a steep departure from everything else that's out there on this subject right now. And I'm telling you guys, it's true, and you can do it because I did it, and I know it to be true. But anyway, folks, get a chance, like and no, not even get a chance. Right now, like and subscribe to this video where I give you more excellent tips and strategies on how you, my friends, can overcome porn and sex addiction. As I said before, all addictions have a root in trauma. If you can figure out the trauma, address the trauma, utilize the proper strategies, and put those strategies in place and execute those strategies, you, my friends, can overcome that said addiction. I know that to be true. And that's definitely a case with pornography addiction. So check out my channel, like and subscribe. If you need additional help, strategies, or coaching, go to www.pornaddictshelp.com, www.pornaddictshelp.com, pornaddictshelp.com, or email me, Dominic at pornaddictshelp.com. That's DOMINIQUE, DOMINIQUE at pornaddictshelp.com. I love you guys and take care. Stay positive.